There is a question that has puzzled people for thousands of years. In India, there are millions of temples. Temples for Vishnu, temples for Shiva, temples for Lakshmi, Ganesha, Hanuman, Durga, Saraswati. Every god and goddess has thousands of temples dedicated to them. But Brahma, the creator of the universe, has almost no temples. 1. In all of India, there is essentially one notable Brahma temple, in Pushkar, Rajasthan. That is it. The creator of everything worshipped almost nowhere. And the reason for this involves a lie, an ego trip, and Shiva cutting off someone's head. This is the story of Shiva versus Brahma, and it is far more disturbing than you think. It starts with an argument. Brahma and Vishnu are debating who is the supreme being. Now, this might sound like a petty squabble between two gods, but remember, these are the two primary forces of the universe. Brahma creates, Vishnu preserves. Between them, they are responsible for everything that exists. And they are standing there, yelling at each other about who is more important. Brahma says, "I am supreme. I created everything. Without me, nothing exists. Every atom, every star, every being came from me." Vishnu says, "I am supreme. Without me, nothing would continue to exist. Creation without preservation is meaningless. Everything you make would fall apart instantly without me." And the argument escalates. Cosmically. Thunderbolts, earthquakes, the fabric of reality rippling from the intensity of their egos. And right in the middle of this argument, a massive pillar of fire appears between them. It appears suddenly, out of nowhere, extending infinitely upward and infinitely downward. No top, no bottom. Just an endless column of blazing light cutting through the middle of reality. A voice speaks from the pillar. It says, "Whoever can find the end of this pillar is the supreme being. Go, find its limit." Vishnu takes the form of Varaha, a giant boar, and digs downward. He digs for thousands of years, through the earth, through the netherworlds, through layers of reality that do not even have names. He digs and digs and digs, and he cannot find the bottom. The pillar extends infinitely. Vishnu, humbled, returns and admits that he could not find the end. The pillar is beyond his comprehension. The pillar is supreme. Brahma takes the form of a swan and flies upward. He flies for thousands of years, through the heavens, through the celestial realms, through dimensions of existence that mortals cannot imagine. And he cannot find the top. The pillar is infinite. But Brahma does something that Vishnu did not. He lies. On his way up, Brahma encounters a Ketaki flower drifting down from somewhere above. He grabs it and asks the flower to be his witness. He asks the Ketaki to testify that Brahma reached the top of the pillar. The Ketaki, either out of fear or foolishness, agrees. Brahma flies back down and announces that he found the top. He says, "I reached the summit, and I have a witness. This Ketaki flower saw me there." The pillar splits open, and Shiva steps out. Because the pillar of fire is Shiva. It was always Shiva. The Jyotirlinga, the infinite column of light, is the formless Shiva, existence itself in its most raw and uncontainable form. Neither Brahma nor Vishnu could find its limits because Shiva has no limits. Shiva looks at Vishnu, who admitted the truth, and nods with respect. Then he looks at Brahma, and his third eye opens. Shiva sees through the lie immediately. He knows Brahma never reached the top. He knows the Ketaki flower gave false testimony. And what follows is swift and terrifying. Shiva reaches out and cuts off Brahma's fifth head. Brahma originally had 5 heads, one for each direction, plus one facing upward. Shiva severs the upward-facing head, the head that dared to look toward the summit of the infinite and claim to have conquered it. And Shiva curses Brahma. He says, "Because you lied about your own supremacy, Because your ego made you fabricate divinity you do not possess, you will never be worshipped. No temples will be built for you. No festivals will celebrate you. You created the universe, and no one will thank you for it. The Ketaki flower is cursed as well. Shiva declares that the Ketaki will never be used in worship. To this day, in Hindu rituals, the Ketaki flower is excluded from offerings to Shiva. A flower cursed for all of eternity because it agreed to support a lie. And Brahma? Brahma has been forgotten. The literal creator of everything, and almost no one worships him. He exists in mythology as a creator who overstepped, an architect who confused himself with the building, a painter who thought he was the painting. Now, there is philosophical depth here that goes beyond punishment. In Hindu thought, creation is not the highest act. Preservation and destruction are equally important, perhaps more so. Creating is easy. Any fool can start something. Sustaining it, maintaining it, nurturing it, that requires Vishnu's patience. And knowing when to end it, when to dissolve the old so the new can emerge, that requires Shiva's terrifying wisdom. Brahma's mistake was not just lying. His mistake was believing that because he created things, he was supreme, that the act of origination made him the most important. And Shiva's response was devastating. It was a cosmic reminder that the origin is not the destination. The spark is not the fire. The seed is not the tree. Creation is the beginning of the story, not the story itself. Brahma created the universe, but who holds it? Who dances within it? Who drinks its poison and wears its ashes? Not the creator. The one who has no temple and needs none. Because Shiva is not in the temple. Shiva is the pillar of fire that no temple can contain.